Welcome back to another episode of Exalted Edge of Creation. Things are kind of getting close to the end here, as we have said before.
We've said that a lot of times before.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately for this one, we're going to have Scott leave the room for a little bit, just like we did a couple episodes back where the other guys weren't in the room.
It has been a couple episodes.
I'll miss you.
We won't. Well, we might.
But our aim has been pretty well.
Well, his character, yeah, but him, he's right next door. He's right outside the door, so... Whatever.
Just sitting there watching us from behind the camera. So you guys had headed north.
Mm-hmm.
You were coming up on this underground city that seems to be built in some sort of, well, it's taken residence in a pre-existing structure, and no one knows what this structure was, what purpose it originally served, or even who built it, as far as
Nobody in our
our
party.
knowledge. Yeah. You guys can actually make a intelligence plus lore roll if you'd like. Specialties in the north would apply.
2.
If you don't have the skill,
It's just intelligence.
not -1.
No minuses in this one.
No default penalty.
1.
Yeah, not really anything more than that. None of you guys have enough lore to really get this. You know it exists. Otto, you've looked into it. Oh, hey, there's a city here. Should we trade with them? And basically the answer was, nah. They don't really have anything we want or that anyone else wants, and there's not really enough of them to have a good trade with them.
Yeah.
They have their own food supply underground. If you had some mercenaries, then they're usually looking for somebody because apparently they're having issues, but beyond that, it's a really defensible and fairly insular community. But as you approach the mountain it's built underneath, you can see the sun starting to set, and the army moving towards starts to get up as soon as the sun goes down and starts marching towards the rest of the way to the wall. You guys are probably going to arrive in the city before it arrives at the wall, and then who knows how long there's going to be standoff and whatever. But yeah, you can see sort of as you're approaching the gates of this city, which are almost like a dwarven stronghold kind of gates. You hear a cry echo across the countryside as that large creature takes to the air again. And then its blue glow is visible even from this distance.
Yeah, we're gonna stay away from that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of want to know what it looks like up a little closer.
But not that close.
But not that close.
the only reason I would want to get close to it is to talk to whoever's writing it.
That seems like a very big gamble.
Yeah.
We need more information for that.
Okay. So as you approach the gate, there's no real evidence of anyone there. You can't see beyond the wall. There's no openings. Just a pretty reinforced looking gate, and it's shut.
So the tracks sled here. Okay.
Once you get up close to the gate itself, they're kind of gone. The tracks disappear, but yeah. And Jules, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it open.
You want to knock?
Straighten everything up. Go up to the door.
I don't think they're going to answer it. No. C-3PO is not there.
Certainly don't have R2-D2 either.
Yeah.
No one's home. Let's go.
You have your hearing ability active. Make a test. With that, if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be able to hear this, but there's a chance.
One.
Nope. All right. There's really no response for like a minute before anything else happens. Do you want to knock again before then? Or let me rephrase that. If there's no response, would you like to do anything else?
I will knock again. This time I will shout in Old Realm that I seek the architect of decline and the irreversible entropy.
There is a series of like sort of metal on metal kind of sounds, and a little slot opens up down the wall a little ways over there. Gate. I mean, it's technically a gate, but this might as well be a wall. And you hear like an echoing voice saying, "There's nobody here by that name."
Hello?
We ain't opening the gates. There's dead moving about out there.
Look around. I don't see no dead.
Yeah, we don't either. We still ain't opening the gate.
I think I'm dead. You
We
did?
we can hear that beast all the way underground.
What beast? You guys are crazy.
Make a manipulation plus not sub what's the word? What is it?
Socialize?
Not necessarily socialize. There was
Or persuasion.
Yeah, sure. We'll go manipulation.
Or presence.
Plus presence.
Manipulation plus presence?
I was gonna say larceny, but that's not quite what we're going for here.
What are you guys talking about? You must be crazy. You've been living under that mountain for too long. Get out and just experience the sun for a while.
I thought we were coming here to negotiate with.
Like you were hunting down where these people went, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you were talking about wanting to
negotiate.
but you also said you wanted to find out where the people were. So the last thing that you had
And
said
this
to me was
guy's
follow tracks.
this guy's not speaking in Old Realm or anything, right?
No, he's speaking the sky tongue.
But apparently he understood Old Realm. All of my dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're all successes.
Yeah, they were all successes. One of them was a 10.
You can hear like them like talking back and forth, and what do you mean this? There, then what do we hear? Coming from below? Crap! If it's coming, shit! If it's coming from below, we're screwed. Should we let him in? I don't know. They said not to let anybody in. And there's like one voice in the background that's like a little bit more sensible than the two guys that are talking at the gate that says, "Well, if it's not it's not some undead. Maybe they've seen what is going on out there. We should bring him in and question."
Yes, I'm useful for something.
All right. Don't nobody joggle in your weapons. We'll drop you where you stand. We're opening the gate now. Step back.
I step back and open my arms wide.
This place, this gate is like covered with kind of overlapping plates, and they actually start like some dust drops from them as they kind of shudder and then peel apart almost like teeth, and it rolls to the side, kind of rolling backwards as it comes. It opens wide enough for one person and then kind of chunks to a stop.
I walk in.
Inside is dark. I mean, it's already nightfall
It's a
is
good thing
falling
I
out
can see
here,
in pitch black.
but it's pretty dark. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you take that as
Mm-hmm.
a per or a
I
merit?
have it. No, I've got my
Oh, yeah.
keen
It
sight
was.
technique
It,
committed.
yeah, it lets you see and dark as it or dark as if it was dim.
Yeah, I have infravision,
Okay.
basically.
Um,
I'm blind.
there
And then I follow
is
him, of course.
several guys at the gate. They are armed with um, spears and shields, although not all of them are carrying their shields right now. They have sort of a shorter tower shield. It's not full size. It's
Hmm.
not like a kite shield because it's not made for a horseback, but it's a lower tower shield.
Hmm.
And it seems to be built of scavenged metals. So it's not like they forged this thing. It's like they pieced it together.
I'll walk in, arms up to here.
I'll let my hands be obvious, but otherwise, yeah, I'm just walking in casually.
Who's in charge here?
They'll kind of turn and look at um, a guy that's dressed somewhat nicer clothes. He's actually not armored, um, and he's actually got a pair of glasses on, like spectacles. That would be me, at least at the gate. I ask, who has come to visit?
I'm Otto Eriksson, recently of Whitewall. I've been trying to figure out what happened that started this whole thing, and the trail has led me here.
What whole thing would you be referring to?
The breaking of the peace.
There's like a couple whispers back and forth at that.
Indicating they know.
Yeah, they've heard of it at least. They know what you're talking about. They just wanted to hear you say it. You should come with me. The elders will want to speak with you. Close the gate. And like Jules had come in behind you, kind of scooches forward, and the gate.
So the gates of crushing.
And it interlocks again, and it becomes almost pitch dark in here when that happens. At which point, one of the guys, you hear a kind of tink sound on the ground as his. That's probably really loud. Anyway, as his spear hits the ground and a torch lights up on his spear. It's some kind of like light blue, almost whitish colored that lights up the area. And a couple of the other guys do the same.
Is it like a ring on the shaft?
Yeah, it's there's like a bulging piece below the head of the spear.
Okay.
Almost makes it look like a round mace or like a smooth mace, but it has slits in it that are glowing. And again, with enough lore, maybe you could figure out what that was, but it's like, huh, that's different.
It's a cool item.
Yep. And then they, several of them stay behind, but some of them start following you guys in. It is a straight as an arrow tunnel going down at a slope. The walls are perfectly squared out. I mean, there's some spots where it's crumbled a bit, and so there's rocks laying off to the side. They seem to be scooted to the side, but whatever made this made some really nice straight lines originally. How long ago that was, who knows? But down you guys go, and can't really see.
It's just an incline.
Yeah, just a straight, narrow incline, or barely an incline, but it just keeps going down.
Interesting.
And it goes on and on And
I'm gonna use uh, my keen sense of touch, run my hand along the wall,
okay.
try to get a feel for the stonework. Um, if I can detect any like minor cracks in it, if it seems uh, like if I can detect tool marks,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Short answer is not really. Um, you get like the feel of um, somewhat. It's some fairly smooth, but it's cracked. And there's definitely places where it's shifted around a bit. It does seem to be really old. That's really the feeling you would get is that this is very old.
Okay.
These guys probably didn't make this. Well, yeah, you're pretty certain none of these guys made this.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't their ancestors either, unless we're talking about ages and ages ago.
Okay. But like I don't detect like chisel marks in the wall or anything.
No.
Cool.
Whatever made this, it wasn't probably wasn't by hand unless they went through and refinished it afterwards.
Hmm.
And this seems to be out of living stone. This isn't like a tunnel and then they put a cement wall around it or something.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like 2 or 3 hours of this. Nothing
Oh,
changes.
boy.
You're just marching down, marching down, marching down, marching down. There is 1 or 2 times where you notice a side tunnel, but that's about it. And like one of the times you pass by a side tunnel, you can hear voices down there.
All adult voices.
Yeah.
Probably a defense fallback point.
But eventually, the tunnel just suddenly flattens. And when it does, uh, the tunnel splits. And you kind of go to one side, and the tunnel, like, I mean, it's basically a two choice kind of cut. And then you go to the right side and come around and, like, see ahead that it's starting to glow. Like, you can see light coming from that direction. And you come around the corner into a large cavern.
Dwellings
and
built
that's
into the side of it.
and it's a cavern only in the sense of it's underground and it's open. This doesn't appear to be natural at all.
Yeah.
So this isn't like stalactites and stalagmites growing up and down. No, this is like just an open pocket underground. And as you guys come in, you see houses here and there, building structures in one sort or another. There is people moving around, and then there is just a series of light sources throughout the cavern at different various levels. You can see like catwalks going up and down, stairways going up and down. Appears to be maybe 4 stories tall. At least that's inhabited. There's a little bit of room above that. And it kind of has a recessed area in the middle that has sort of like a town square kind of feel to it. Either way, everything here seems to be fairly muffled. Like it's not like you don't see kids like running and laughing. Well, maybe running but not laughing. Everyone seems to be fairly quiet down here, which is the biggest feeling you're going to get. However, as you guys pass by one of the buildings, the door suddenly bursts open as a person is bodily launched backwards out of the building, rolls to the ground, and comes up cussing and screaming, "You dirty heathens! You'll pay for that! I'll show you not wanted!" And the door gets kind of slammed in his face. He kind of gets up and brushes himself off. "What are you doing here?" And you guys kind of recognize this guy. I mean, he's a little disheveled, but he was before. Last time you saw him, he was standing before the gates in White Wall, crying out about the Immaculate Faith.
I laugh and ignore him.
He's looks to be in his 70s maybe. Um,
This is the guy talking shit about the leadership, right?
yeah, saying that the people. Well, he was saying that the people have turned from their faith and need to return to their proper faith. He's gray haired and disheveled, wears like layers of gray rags of one sort or another. Probably used to be clothes.
Hmm.
How long have you been here?
Just arrived. Like you're.
I look at the door.
Like,
yep.
The guard starts walking forward, like, and he falls in with you guys. I hear there's a lot of untoward things happening upon the surface. Armies moving about and such. He sort of has a like quality to his voice that just sounds like he's been, yelling into the wind for years. Just kind of that gravelly, scratched up kind of sound quality.
Well, your rabble is roused.
He looks kind of perplexed at that. People, White Wall rose up against somebody?
Yes.
Hmm. He kind of like strokes his beard. Hmm.
The wall's defenseless.
And why are you here?
Why am I going to be there? That's where the army's going. Right?
That's what I heard.
I am studying him to see how excited he is by this news.
Oh, that the the walls are defensive. Yeah, give me a perception plus socialize.
Two.
Kind of has a like burp, belch kind of thing at the moment, but otherwise you can't really get a good read on what he's thinking. I mean, he's obviously thinking, but what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't mean to leave the wall defenseless. But you don't seem to be the type that. I mean, I saw you. You didn't seem the type to run away from danger. I mean, you were out on calibration. I heard, Sale, that you ran into fair folk and hungry ghosts on the road. You still made it through. Everyone intact, even. Jules is like looking around like, who, me? And also, like, you get this, like, he's kind of hovering right. You guys are talking, he's hovering right here. And he's kind of like trying to walk a little bit in between you almost, but isn't quite getting in.
Between me and the old guy?
Yeah. Like he keeps trying to like. It seems like he's trying to get you guys a little bit further apart, but isn't succeeding at it.
I'll let him in.
Okay. There's like a momentary amusing spot where the old man's kind of leaning into you, and you move away, and he's kind of following you. But finally, Jules managed to like kind of push himself in between. Old man just kind of gives him a glare. So you also left the city then?
Well, I'm here, aren't I?
We came here for the same reason, though.
What's that?
Nothing. Just saying you're a chicken.
Nah.
Why did you come here?
Looking for people to help.
No.
I haven't been able to convince him to raise a militia. They here are too insular.
And so now you're being thrown out of bars and back alleys here as well. Alleys. Back alleys here
Yeah,
as
he
well.
kind of gives this like kind of look at that. Not necessarily angry at you, but like he almost kind of looks back over his shoulder at that building he was just in.
Mm.
Um, are we getting close to what looks to be the palace?
Um, yeah, you guys have made it almost halfway around at this point.
Well, well, mobilizing mobs is one way to get things done. Working within the existing power structure often is more effective.
And like as you say that, the like he seems to be about to respond to that when you guys arrive at a building. Um, the guard leading you opens the door and ushers the four of you in. He just kind of goes along with you.
Okay.
No one tries to stop him or anything.
My danger sense isn't going off.
You don't get any feeling of ambush.
Okay.
Mm.
The room you go into is fairly low. Like the ceiling is fairly low. It's only about 6 foot tall. So maybe you don't have to crouch, but you're gonna get that feeling you need to.
I'm gonna have to. Well, yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to take off my hat.
There is a bunch of like cushions and like low couches arrayed around this room. A hearth place on one side, um, and then there's like drapery or like cloth of one sort or another all along the walls. Almost the whole walls are covered by cloth. Um, of everywhere you've been, this place seems the least actually underground, except for that low ceiling. And then there's like a table in the center with some kind of like glassware that has flames coming out of it, so you can see the liquid inside burning.
Interesting.
And it gives different colored lights to the room. Uh, the guard or the fellow with the glasses says, "Just sit here while gather the elders."
I will sit.
I will stand nearby.
The old fellow grabs a pipe off the table and fills it and lights it, and it lets off a sort of a sweet smell.
Mm.
We really should have come up with some sort of secret language.
Yep. Touch my head twice. That means I don't know.
Ear, nose, we gotta kill this guy.
Rub my elbow.
I'm sure he won't know what this means.
Well, that's why it's this.
Yeah.
Because this is that just up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wait for the elders, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta try to talk to this old guy and figure out what his deal is while we're waiting for them. The problem is I don't have enough, like, occult or anything.
Got one dog in the cold. What do you need a cult for? You're just talking to this guy.
Because he's a religious zealot,
Point taken.
and I need to... So you were trying to save the city then?
Hey, it's my city too.
Hmm.
It seems there's a lot of people need saving these days. Quite a few.
Well, that's true.
You can see him like maybe a memory strikes him and he kind of reaches back and touches a spot on his hip.
The soldier?
Yeah, we fought in many battles. Wish I could have avoided them. Old wounds take a long time to heal. Sometimes the wrong lessons get learned. Wish I was 20 years younger. Maybe could have made a difference in this one. Maybe I still can.
Perhaps you can. Um, do I get the sense that he's genuine about regret and wanting to make a difference?
It sounds different than what he's been saying before. Yes, he seems to be. He doesn't seem to be as dodgy as before.
Hmm.
I mean, it's hard to tell for sure again because his guile seems to be higher than what you were able to read, but that does seem to be what he's putting forward.
I'm gonna keep my powder dry.
Jules is like, "What did you say your name was?" "Call me Zeph." Zeph. Is that short for something?
Zephyros?
Hmm. Aye, it's short for something, but everyone just calls me Zeph. Or that old crazy man yelling in the streets. Always trying to teach a lesson to the younger generation. They don't always learn the correct one.
Indeed.
Mhm.
About this time, from upstairs, you hear some steps coming down. I mean, it's not like the creak of wood, it's on stone, but you hear people starting to shuffle down the stairs, cloth kind of rubbing against stone, as um, about 8 to 10 people come down. They're all fairly older, men and women, and one of which is a very old looking woman, completely bald, um, and is fairly unique in the fact that she has uh, white skin, like literally white, and like black splotches here and there.
Hmm.
Um, Probably have heard of them, although unlikely have ever seen them. There is a species of human that has more like panda like coloring, but they're hairless.
Hmm.
This might be one of them. They're rare in the north, though.
Okay. Uh, she seems to be the leader.
No, not necessarily. There's um, a guy that seems to be the leader of this group. Um, he's better dressed than the rest, and actually has a neatly trimmed uh, facial hair. My name is Malachi. Understand that you came from the surface just recently, and they're all like taking seats around you.
We did.
You may I have your name?
I am Otto Erickson. I'm going to use measuring glance.
What does that do?
Lets me identify his intimacies.
Do you have to guess at him?
Nope. The solar can sum up the member of an organization with perfect incision. This charm creates a social or mental attribute plus bureaucracy read intentions action, adding the solar's essence and automatic successes. This charm is automatically successful unless resisted with magic, and cannot be resisted by characters whose temporary willpower is currently lower than the solar's.
What is your willpower at?
Um,
5.
Upon reading her subject, the exalt can determine the exact, strongest, or most relevant intimacy he holds for the organization in question.
Okay. The strongest intimacy they hold. Okay.
Perception, pursue.
Sure.
Four successes.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious to you, pretty quick. This guy is his defining intimacy is to this city and its people. So it's a desire to make something of this place.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm not saying like he has designs on this look. No, he just wants these people to succeed. And
That's good.
tinged with that is his concern over you, an outsider coming in. He seems to be. Actually, make me a perception socialize roll.
Body language.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. 2, 4, 7.
When the people sit down here, they're like sitting as if they're giving attention to you and your group there, especially to you because you seem to be the one talking. So they're kind of arraying themselves. When they do so, they ignore Zeph as if he's either A, part of them, or B, like he's not even there. Something along those lines. Like no one even looks at him.
Internally, I'm smiling.
Okay.
Smart people.
No, my attitude toward him has changed dramatically.
It's not something that you notice over there, but he got 7 successes. I mean, it's not like anybody's sitting on him, like he's not even there, but they are just completely ignoring him otherwise.
Yeah. Well, you've done a good job thus far in narrating the subtleties of what he's putting out.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. I come from Whitewall. And there is a grave threat.
So we have heard.
I want to belay any fears you may have that I am here seeking allies.
A couple glances around. No one says anything, but they're looking at each other like, okay.
What my purpose in coming here was to find out what happened to the sacrifices left. I'm doing my best to listen for any intakes of breath.
Yeah.
Watch for anyone squirming.
You do. You catch it. And
down all
actually
the
it's a lot of them look towards the old lady. The one with the white and black skin. She doesn't react to it, but enough of the other people do that she realizes that it's too obvious.
Are there like
There's some things that have occurred recently that I fear are going to bring my people into danger. And it is through no fault of our own, but instead because of our goodwill that it might endanger my people. About a month ago, there were a dozen individuals brought to my city gates with no explanation as to where they'd come from, but they sought refuge, and foolishly, perhaps, we let them in. And the lady kind of gives him a glance of foolishly and kind of nods to her. They have become part of our people here, but we have thought that it would only be a matter of time until someone came looking for them.
You say they were brought by who?
That is a question I wish I could answer, and unfortunately, neither myself nor anyone who was there could tell you. We all agree there was a person with them, but not for the life of us can a single one of us remember who it was.
I'm going to look at Zeph.
Zeph is like cleaning a fingernail.
And just as quickly.
wish we had that. Kill him.
Okay, yes, those people were the sacrifice to keep the peace.
That is what we have discovered. And it has caused some issues, but we have taken steps to bring them around to our way of seeing things. They were not the best of individuals when they first arrived. It seems that Whitewall is only likely to sacrifice the most undesirable of the population.
Yes, those condemned to death already. So as to not cause undue burden on the populace to have to give up loved ones.
The second life here has been an improvement, and we have taken steps to integrate them into our society. We are unwilling to release them and to re-serve that sentence. If that is why you are here. And you can kind of see just from their body language that they kind of form a front on this matter. Especially, and the center of it is that lady. If you require proof that they're here, we can provide it. But we will not reveal the individuals.
Oh no, I know they are here. It's what brought me here. Whoever brought them didn't cover their tracks as well as they'd hoped. And I'll look between Zeph and her to see if that got any reaction.
The woman seems to be like have a little bit of a puzzle, like her brow is a little furrowed. Zeph doesn't react to it. Yeah, they otherwise neither one of them seems to react to it otherwise.
So Zeph is the name of the priest guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pick his pockets.
He's not sitting next to you, so you're gonna have to get up and move over to do so.
Yeah, I know.
So make a social or a presence stealth, or sorry, blah, blah. We'll go manipulation stealth.
Manipulation stealth.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of okay. I'm done sitting. Get up. Kind of walking around the room a bit. Kind of just. It's not like I'm awkwardly getting up. It's more like I'm trying to make it look like I'm just getting up to move around a little bit. Kind of look around the room.
Okay.
I ignore his motion.
it's a good thing to ignore somebody who's being rude.
3.
Yeah, like maybe one or two people glance at you, but everyone goes back to the conversation at hand.
Okay.
And then you're gonna try to like sidle up beside him and pick his pockets.
I have the flawless pickpocket technique. I can just take it unless he's got magical means to prevent me from doing so.
You're gonna spend for that?
Yeah, spend for that.
Okay. What is in his pockets?
More pockets. He's got pockets in his pockets, so he can be holding stuff.
No, you actually find it. He doesn't really have much.
That's
in the way
not
of
a riddle, hobbitses.
But you do come away with a small book.
Okay. I got a book.
Okay.
So, back away from him.
Against the wall.
Yeah, kind of lean against the wall.
You wanna look at the book?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look at the book without anybody realizing.
All right. We'll go with
Arsony?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have to because he succeeded. Oh, for
Well,
like.
yeah, because that's sleight of
Okay.
hand.
Yeah, sure. We'll do a
Maybe a perception larceny to read it.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a hard one.
Oh, I got the dice for it.
It might be manipulation larceny, but I think we'll go with perception on this one since it's trying to surreptitiously read this thing.
So it's like, how big is the book? Like,
It's like this tall, this wide, about that thick. So it's pretty small.
Practically a paperback.
yeah, okay.
It is
So-
leather bound, but it's a very thin layer of leather.
So I'm kind of like crossing my arms and tucking my hands under my cloak,
Okay.
whatever in the book's right in there. So it's just
All right. Yeah, you can get your stunt dice if that's what you're going for.
that's what I'm going for.
Okay. It wasn't that bad, I don't think.
Wasn't that the
Where's two?
okay 4?
Nice. It's not a language you can read. And in fact, the way it's written, I mean, it's not like you know a lot of languages, but you suspect that it's not a language anyway. It's just the character. It's like individual character and their characters, and they're all spaced exactly the same. So it's just like some kind of cipher. It'd be your guess. Maybe you flip a page to look at the next page, and kind of get that headache feeling for a second as like something's moving that shouldn't be, as the letters reshape, and suddenly in Sky Tongue it says, and gives you a nice little insult. It says, perhaps sticky fingers should be careful whose pockets they take things from. And you kind of see the old man kind of turn his head back around and look at you. And then he goes back and does this kind of thing. Like self-satisfied.
Son of a bitch. I would say out loud. Just, huh.
Here's the thing. I understand that you've adopted these people. And that's commendable, I suppose, in its own way. I have no emotional attachment to them outside of the fact that they were what was keeping peace, that made the high road travelable. I don't want to see Whitewall fall. I don't want to see your city fall. I would like to see trade open up on the road. I'm going to do everything in my power to make this happen. I know the entities who negotiated the first treaty, and I know where our sacrifices are. I would like to know who set them free so that I can assign proper blame. In the absence of that, it is not me who will come to take them from you.
And there's kind of some looking around at each other, like, yeah, we've talked about that kind of. So I wish we could help you, but like I said, there is not a single person in the city that knows who that man or woman or being was.
Well, I have some of my own theories, none of which I've been able to exactly find evidence for. Glance at Zephyros. Or Zeph. I'm calling him Zephyros.
It's not his name.
Good question to ask is, okay, in light of we can't find out who did it, who brought him here, why? Why not just kill them and bury the evidence? Why were they brought here?
We don't know.
If they had been killed, it wouldn't be an outright breach of the agreement, potentially.
I don't know the intricacies of that treaty.
I will begin writing it.
Oh.
Because I have eidetic memory.
Everyone kind of leans over and watches. No, it seems that if the parties are not turned over to, well, the sacrifice is not turned over to the proper parties, it breaches the agreement. Assuming that that's correct. That seems to be what it says.
But I don't recall when we spoke of it originally that they had to be alive.
They have to be alive.
Okay.
They have to be alive and at the location. So if they were
If
turned
they'd
up
been
dead,
killed,
if they've
it's a
been killed,
it's
it would be a violation. If they aren't there, if there's not the proper number, any of those things can be a
Okay.
breach.
Okay.
So again, why were they brought here?
And like pretty much all treaties, they are not legally binding during calibration because calibration breaks all rules. That's why the guard wants to get back to the city wall as soon as possible. The city guard that brings them out. Now that you've discovered what has occurred, perhaps not by whom, but I must ask. You say you want to set up trade. My people wish to remain insular if at all possible. We have stayed safe here by removing ourselves from the conflicts of the surface. It will be difficult to come in contact with that world again.
I think contact is inevitable.
He looks over at one of the younger guys. The guy said, we have been able to limit our contact, though it does exist. As long as things are kept to a peaceable level, we would be willing to work through you, or whoever you represent, as long as we have a chance to meet them first and make all agreements at that point. There are several things that we would want to, bureaucratic, blah, 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 yada, 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 yakety smackety. In other words, they want to make sure that they get to prevent any armies from marching in, and they want to keep control over who's allowed in and for how long and what they're allowed to see.
Reasonable requests.
In the meantime, you're welcome to stay the night here. But considering the situation,
I look to Jules and you.
Jules has been busy looking towards the door since soon after this meeting started.
I'm grateful for your extension of hospitality, and I will have to take you up on it at a later date. Perhaps when we negotiate the particulars for the tower.
For the tower.
Oh, yes. I believe it is in. The best way to meet all of your demands is to ensure that no traitor actually steps foot within your city. This is doable.
And that would be agreeable.
The Hislanti League has airships.
Hmm. I see. Yes. That would be preferable. He, like, takes a hand out. That is much to more to our desires here. We'll have to draw up a contract at a later date. It seems your young friend is very desirable to leave.
Yes. The Dauntless will be the first ship to arrive.
And you can see Zeph doing this kind of thing, like playing with his beard, thinking when you start talking about the Hislanti. But they all kind of stand up, do some bows. They did not bow when you first met, but this time they seem to be a lot more.
We've established a rapport.
Yeah. And the old elder lady wants to come up and like hold your hands, like both hands at the same time. Looks you carefully in the eyes, and it's not like a like squinty, like I don't trust you, but it does seem like you can feel a more of a searching kind of feeling. She's gonna try something. What is your guile?
5.
Okay. So she looks more with. It seems like the contact itself started something. And you can feel her like arm kind of shaking a little bit when she does this. She puts her thumb in the palm of your hand, both hands, and then like relaxes a little bit, nods more deeply to you, and then kind of wants to give you a hug, and lets you go. And she just kind of turns around, and a couple of the other people come in beside her to help her walk up the stairs. I loved it. None of you guys took really any ranks in a cult. It's just so much fun to put out these things with no explanation whatsoever.
Yeah. I'll leave.
Okay.
I want to try to put some distance between us and whatever guards might be following us.
Okay. They do like escort you, but they'll leave you your space if that's what you're trying for.
Yeah. The Mistress of Plate and Bone. Mm-hmm. She had designs.
Mm-hmm.
And an army.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not consider his Lanti League then, Zeph? I'll glance at him.
It took into some of my thoughts. But there's always so many connections. It's difficult to see what thread might end up completing the tapestry of the day. Which one could take prominence over the others? It does offer possibilities. That's something we need to see right now.
Mm.
And like as he says that, you guys are walking back up to the exit. And the gate kind of rolls open for you guys. And you see in the distance this creature is floating in front of the wall. And you can see just the ground carpeted in front of the wall from mountainside to mountainside. Uh, it seems to be moving, but there doesn't seem to be anything happening just yet until there's an explosion of blue light up there in the front. It seems like something strikes the flying creature. Um, it looks like that lightning bolt that, or those bolts that nearly took out his bird and this fellow behind you. And the ground just starts shaking up ahead, and you see lines go up the wall, and then darker lines following them up. And then things go flying through the air at the same time, and you see them crest the wall somehow, and you know how tall that wall is, and they're just going up and over the wall and raining down on the other side. And over the next couple minutes, you start seeing smoke rising from the city.
I look to Jules, unless that's what you want to call it, because that's pretty dramatic.
No, just okay. one more second.
I'm not fast enough to get there.
And he's like, it's already too late. And Zeph looks at you guys. It is already too late, but there are other ways of getting there. And he turns and walks back towards the city. And that's where we'll cut it.